All right, guys. Eric Balls here. Going to give you guys the core plays for the Players Championship. It is finally back after that kind of 1 year hiatus, that 1 year kind of tease round. We had that every shot, every golfer where we only got to see one round. The 9-5 player pool was doing pretty well there. Hideki was a top 5 play that week. He was in first place after round 1. Webb and Daniel Berger were also top 5 plays that week. They were top 10. So a little bit of a tease last week. Real quick, the Discord challenge winner last week was Evan Speckman. I'll be leaving you a comment there to send me a message on Twitter. So you won. You get the link to enter the 9-5 Discord chat. And then just kind of touching on that, all you have to do to enter into that contest this week is like the video, be subscribed, and then also leave a comment on the page, kind of going over your best pick. But let's get into the coverage here for the Players Championship. All right, so getting to the players that are in the best recent form. And just to let you guys know, all of this is taken Sunday afternoon or so before the closing of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So it's going to be a little bit skewed a little bit that way, but still for the most part, it's going to be accurate. Obviously, the stats will be a little bit different as well, but for the most part, we have a pretty solid pitcher. So starting off, we got Victor Hovland. Obviously, Victor Hovland has been playing some great golf. I mean, 3 straight T5 or better finishes. Kind of same thing for Tony Finau. 14th, second and fourth place finish. He's been electric. Paul Casey as well, surprisingly. He played well this at the API. He's going to finish probably top 15 or so. Then a 5th and 8th place finish. Patrick Cantlay has been absolutely dominating. Matthew Fitzpatrick as well. He's someone that could climb up this board a little bit, just given his play at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, depending on how he finishes. But he has been playing great as well. An 11th and a 5th before that. John Rahm continues to play great golf. Xander, same thing with him. Kind of fell off at the Waste Management a little bit, or at the WGC, sorry, with the 39th. But before that, a 15th, a second, and a second. Louis Oosthuizen, yes, a little bit, but he did withdraw. Kind of a worry there, but he had a 6th, 11th, and a 29th place finish. Colin Morikawa really vaulted after that victory, a 1st, a 43rd, and a 7th place finish, and then before that, a 7th place finish as well. Then Webb Simpson as well, casually just playing his good golf that he always does, a 6th, a 42, and then a 4th place finish as well. So we get the kind of a good picture of who has been playing some good recent golf. Some other players popping up a little bit: Max Homa, Will Zalatoris, Terrell Hatton, Joaquin Neiman, Cameron Tringale. Those are just some other players as well. Bryson will probably vault up there a little bit as well. But let's get into the players with good course history. And I just want to show you guys 2 players have asterisks there: Joel Dahman and Abraham Ancer. That's for the caveat that they only played here once. And also, Abraham Ancer last year, he was struggling. I think he was like +1, which, you never know. Gets a favorable tee time in round 2, and he could have made the cut. So, just take it with a grain of salt there. But Adam Scott, this guy has been great here at this course. A 12th, 11th, 6th, and 12th. Great course history for him. Webb Simpson playing well as well at this course. 16th, 1st, and 16th place finish. Last year, he was top 10 as well after the first round. So great for him there. DJ popping up 15th, 17th, 12th, and 28th place finish. He looks to bounce back after a really struggling WGC event. Tommy Fleetwood casually popping up here 5th, 7th, and 41st. He actually played well at the API as well, so that could catch some people's eye this week. 7.9 from this week is pretty interesting. Jason Day, another player, kind of been streaky this year, coming off of 3 straight good events. He has an 8th, a 5th, a 60th, and a 1st place finish here. And then kind of rounding out, we got JT Poston, Cameron Tringale, and Bryson DeChambeau. Really nothing great from those guys. So there's kind of a huge drop off there between Jason Day and then everyone else kind of is just kind of lumped in together. Then get into the key stats for this week. We are going to be looking at effective greens gained, which is the 9-5 stat, and then also effective drives gained as well. Another 9-5 stat there for this tournament. I'm kind of using some combination stats to make those 2 stats. It's one where you do have to be hitting the ball accurately, but you also have to be hitting greens in regulation. Same thing. Just greens in regulation, stroke gain approach, just kind of combining all that. And then off the tee as well, we want to be looking at that as well. So I just kind of did a bunch of combination stats. You guys can look at the course preview video that I posted before this to kind of get a bigger breakdown of kind of why I'm looking at that. Birdie to bogey ratio as well. I'm kind of flip-flopping between bogey avoidance and birdie to bogey ratio. So in this video, you'll see bogey avoidance. Probably come Monday, I'll be on birdie to bogey ratio. Pretty much the same thing. Bogey avoidance a little bit better in predicting who's going to make the cut, and birdie to bogey ratio going to be a little bit better for you guys in terms of deciding who's going to have that higher upside. par 5 scoring, if they're scoring on par 5s and not making many bogeys, they're going to make the cut and play well, obviously. Then we also are going to be looking at ball striking. So players that, check those boxes stat fit wise. And once again, this is before the Arnold Palmer Invitational, so some of these could change, but no surprise here. We got Webb Simpson, Sanjay, and Joaquin Neiman, Daniel Berger, Victor Hovland, Ryan Palmer, Sam Burns, Emiliano Grillo, Cameron Tringale, Russell Henley. No real surprises there at all. All those guys have been really playing some great golf. For a lot of them, it's just a matter of putting it all together for a solid week. So no surprises there, really. But now for the moment you guys have been waiting for, let's get into the picks and core plays for this week. All right, guys, so get into the picks for the high tier range. Once again, I'm just going to be highlighting 4 to 5 players each and every week in each price point range. So I'm going to be starting it off with actually pretty much the core play of the week. Going to be tough to avoid him. It's going to be Webb Simpson here, guys. As you guys can see on the cheat sheet here, 10th in recent form, second in course history, and first in stat rank. So really just checking all the boxes there, and we'll pull up the reasons why. So 6th, a 42nd, and a 4th place finish recently at this course, a 16th, a first place finish, and a 16th place finish. Going back to last year once again as well, he was top 10 after the first round there. So, kind of just checking the boxes there. He has continued his great golf this year as well. We look at effective drives gained, 8th in that, 18th in ball striking, 3rd in bogey avoidance, 14th in strokes gained total putting, 35th, 11th in par 5 scoring, and 36th in effective greens gained. So everything is really aligning for Webb Simpson this week. And yes, we kind of know the theme this year has been, when a player is checking all the boxes and we have no reason to fade him, that's going to be the reason to fade him. I just don't see that being the case with Webb Simpson this week. That typically happens more in the 8K range, and there's a couple of plays there that could get us this week, but Webb Simpson this week kind of just seems like a lock. Easy core play for me this week. Now we get into 2 kind of interesting plays here with Collin Morikawa and Victor Hovland, and I'll touch on it by leading with Patrick Cantlay and Tony Finau here. So course history, it does matter, but it doesn't matter. I want to see a player have, a decent amount of course history here. So Patrick Cantlay, he made the cut in his first 2 starts at this event and then missed the cut in 2019, but he is in great recent form and he's a pretty strong play. If he can putt a little bit better, he's going to play well, and he just needs to be a little bit better off the tee. 79th in effective drives gained, but 31st in effective greens gained, 6th in bogey avoidance, 30th in ball striking. I'm fine with him as a play. Overall, he ranks out 6th in the model, but course history there a little bit iffy. And then Tony Finau as well. It took him a while to kind of get used to this course. 2 missed cuts, a 57th and a 22nd place finish. So it has been getting better. Obviously, Tony Finau has been in great recent form. A 14th, a second, and a 4th place finish. Excellent recent form. He has the second best recent form, guys. Stat rank, he could be better there, but he's been playing so well recently that if we just look at his recent stats, we don't really have to worry about him as a play. But kind of my point with Tony Finau and Patrick Cantlay is the course history, because Victor Hovland and Collin Morikawa don't have that. But if we just look at them, small picture wise, take out course history, they're still top 5 in model rank. Actually, Victor Hovland ranks out first because of his great recent form. I really don't want to knock them for not having course history, but it is something that we have to slightly worry about. But we'll talk about Victor Hovland here. 35th in effective drives gained, 8th in ball striking, 46th in bogey avoidance, 9th in strokes gained total, 88th in total putting, 19th in par 5 scoring, and 12th in effective greens gain. Honestly, if I had to pick a player who this course kind of is perfect for, it would be someone like Victor Hovland. I've always said that Victor Hovland is just the young version of Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar we'll touch on a little bit later, but we saw he's just a player that does have good course history here as well. So it kind of makes sense that, similar players like that play well. Webb is a similar player as well. Obviously he has great course history. And then Collin Morikawa, kind of the same thing. 1st, 43rd, and 7th place finish. The worry with him is that he's coming off of that victory. Did take the week off, so we don't have to really worry about that too much, I don't think, but still a little bit of a worry there. 1st in effective greens gained, 6th in effective drives gained, 9th in ball striking, 22nd in strokes gained total. If he can just putt a little bit, we saw, really the difference between these 2 events was putting. If he can go out and putt well, he's going to have a spectacular week. There's just a little bit of worry there with, not having that real course experience. So for me, it's really Webb Simpson. And then we're going to build a lot of our builds out from the mid-tier and low-tier price point ranges. So let's get into those ranges right now. All right, guys. So now moving on into the mid-tier price point range, we get into our second core play of the week. Honestly, this seems like a really bad mispriced play, and it's kind of the play this week where it's like we have no reason to fade him. So I'm a little bit worried that that could be the reason to fade him. Now, course history could be a little bit better: 67th, 57th, 65th, and 9th place finish. That's kind of the worry there with him. But he does have that top 30 finish in the last 5 years, not last 4 years. Once again, course history and course history data really does drop off from the 4th year to the 5th year, and then really from the 5th year beyond. So, take it with a grain of salt that in 2016 he had 9th place finish, but 4 straight made cuts. That's great. He's made 3 out of 4 straight cuts in a row, 35th, first missed cut, and 7th place finish. So pretty solid there. But overall, he's the 4th best stat rank play. What I really like about him is that he has no weaknesses in his game right now. The worst stat that he has is effective drives gained, where he ranks 35th or 38th in that. Everything else is just spectacular. Really no real reason to expect that Daniel Berger would go out and struggle this week. I really love kind of where his game is at right now. Coming off of the victory, it's nice to see him have that top 35 finish. Has another week off to kind of mentally reset. He should be good to go for the Players' Championship. And, if his mind is in the right mindset, the sky's the limit with Daniel Berger this week. So at that price point, does make a lot of sense. And then we're going to get into 2 players who, if you want to catch some, upside, they're right here. So we'll start with Hideki, who kind of has been struggling this year, but only 1 missed cut out of his last 5 starts here. And he has pretty good course history: 8th, missed cut, 22nd, and 7th place finish. If we look back to 2020, he was dominating this course. He was in first place, -9. I think the next closest was -7. So he was playing really well there. Not going to be the best stat rank play because he just hasn't been playing all that well, but it is still nice to see him rank out top half in the field still. So it does kind of worry you there. Somewhat okay recent form. Pretty solid course history. It could be a little bit better stat fit, but that's kind of the theme in this price point range, especially with someone like Jordan Spieth, who, still season long. And once again, this is going to get better from Sunday to Monday when the PGA Tour updates their stats. So he does rank out 113th in stat rank, season long wise. That's probably going to drop down to about 80 here, but still, you'd want it to be a little bit better. Overall, though, guys, he has been in great recent form. He's probably going to pop up into top 12 or so of recent form rank after we finalize the API, but he's probably going to have a top 10 finish there, a 15th, a 3rd, and a 4th place finish recently. Course history is not going to be good, guys. He has been playing horrible, as we know, really over the last 4 years. So, 3 missed cuts and 1 made cut. It is still going to be a risky play, but it's a risky play that you guys can make if you want to. Then we get into Paul Casey. So Paul Casey is kind of a player that I just can't stop playing for some reason. Had a good week at the API, probably going to be a top 15 or so finish, and then a 5th and the 8th place finish. Relatively good course history, miscut in 2019, and then a 22nd and a 23rd place finish. Could be a better stat fit as well, but once again, I think this is going to be significantly better. I think he's going to end up being a top 20 stat rank here after the Monday stats get in, but still not overly bad. 60th in effective drives gained, 23rd in ball striking, 29th in bogey avoidance. That is all great. Par 5 scoring could be a little bit better, but he's not putting poorly. 76th in that, which is a great sign for Paul Casey. 93rd in effective greens gained. So we'd want that stat to be a little bit better as well. But overall, Paul Casey, I do like his play. 13th in the model this week. And to get him at that price point is absolutely spectacular. And then I do just want to mention 2 other players here real quick in this price point range, just for you guys. Kind of bonus picks here. It is the Players' Championship. So you guys are the players. We're trying to win that championship. Let's give you a couple more picks here. Adam Scott, just tremendous course history here, guys. 12th, 11th, 6th, and 12th place finish. The thing with Adam Scott is, he doesn't really play any easy events on the PGA Tour, so his stats are never overly that great, but still ranking 100th is not that, spectacular, and we can kind of see why. His most recent starts haven't been great. Only 1 top 35 finish here, and that was the 10th at the Farmers, but he's a guy where he really can turn it up in his game really anytime, and this is a highly appealing price point for him. And then Jason Day as well. He has strong course history here as well. He's probably going to finish with a top 25 finish at the API, so he's coming off of 3 straight solid finishes, kind of in descending form there, 7th, 18th, and 25th or so, whatever it ends up being. but still not bad. He's kind of checking all the boxes there. He's another guy where he's probably going to end up being, right around a top 40 stat fit play as well. So, Jason Day, he actually might end up being a little bit tough for me to pass up on. So now we get into the low tier guys. This is going to be loaded. Oh man, let's go. All right, guys. So now moving down here into that low tier price point range, there are a lot of quality plays here. So honestly, it's really tough to only, narrow it down to 4 players, but there were 2 players that really stood out to me. We'll touch on those here, but let's start with Jason Kokrak here. Jason Kokrak coming off of another solid finish at the API, probably going to be around a top 15 finish, then a 9th, a 32nd, a 29th, and a 56th place finish. So he's in tremendous recent form, guys. Overall, 2 made cuts and 1 missed cut. His last 2 starts here were made cuts, which are great. He's a top 20 stat rank play as well. 52nd in effective drives gained, 16th in ball striking, 83rd in bogey avoidance. That's kind of going to be the worry with him. But total putting, 2nd in that, and then 48th in effective greens gained. So really, Jason Kokrak sort of almost checking all the boxes. If he had a little bit better start there tournament-wise, but overall, Jason Kokrak at 7.7 does seem like a steal. Then another player at 7.7 is going to be Joaquin Niemann. Now, he does rank out well in the model, kind of like Victor Hovland and Collin Morikawa. My problem with those 2 as a play, it's like, why would we pay those price points for those 2 players when we can't get Joaquin Niemann at like 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 cheaper for Joaquin Niemann, who is overly just as good of a play. So, the WGC event, he kind of was just okay there. Genesis made the cut, and then, at the Sony, he had a 2nd place finish. And then the event before that, the S2SC, he had a 2nd place finish as well. Really strong stat rank. Every stat that we're looking at is T50 or better. Total putting ranks, T50, effective drives gained 45th, ball striking 4th, effective greens gained 26th. Joaquin Niemann at this price point is a great GPP flyer play. Once again, no tournament history, so you worry there, but still going to be a good play. And I'm going to struggle with kind of Victor Hovland and Collin Morikawa's plays, knowing that I can get Joaquin Niemann at that price point, a very similar play. So another core play this week is going to be Cameron Tringale. Now, he didn't overly play that well at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, kind of had a good round 1 and then kind of struggled from there from what I saw. Maybe, finishes with a decent Sunday push there, but still, recent form has been there. 26th, 7th, 17th, 18th, and 56th place finish. The guy has been electric, okay? Course history-wise, hasn't played here in the last 2 years, and by that I mean 2019 and 2018, but before that, 35th place finish and 16th place finish. He is the 9th best stat rank play in the field. Effective drives gained is 96, could be better than that, but every other stat that we're looking at is T37 or better, par 5 scoring, 37th, ball striking 34th, effective greens gained 23rd, total putting 21st. Top 9 stat rank play, top 5 in the model this week. Once again, this is on Sunday. I don't see that changing that much. Maybe down to 7th, but Cameron Tringale at 7.2 is an absolute steal to me. I think he's going to be a great play. But another core play for me this week is going to be Chris Kirk. Wow, this guy has kind of changed his career around. He has been playing great. So he's going to have a top 10 or 12 or 15 place finish at the API, most likely playing great golf there. He's a guy that I got on a lot later on in the week at the API, ended up being a high exposure play. So recent form wise, that top probably 16 place finish last week, and then a 16th at Pebble Beach, missed cut at Waste Management, made cut at the AMX, top 16 place finish, and then a 2nd at the Stony Open. Course history wise, 56, 46, and 12th place finish. So excellent course history. It is descending there, which does worry you a little bit, but other than that, guys, pretty solid play. He could be a little bit better in par 5 scoring, ranked 107th in that, effective greens gain 110 in that, strokes gain total 72nd, but effective drives gain 17th, ball striking 51st, bogey avoidance 8th, total putting 27th. So he hasn't been making that many bogeys, and he's just been hitting the ball overly pretty well as a whole. Top 30 stat fit, top 16 in the model. Both Cameron Tringale and Chris Kirk to me are fantastic plays given their price point. Going to be tough to pass up on those players at those price point ranges. All right, guys, so now closing out here in the value tier price point range, that 6.9 and below price point range here. So Brian Harman is casually popping there. None of these guys have an over 60% chance to make the cut. I should make that known because it's going to be a difficult week. And now, yes, that might change with the Monday updates, but it's not going to change by that much. Maybe Charlie Hoffman, who I'll touch on in a second, and like Steele and Grillo might get bumped up to like 61 or so percent, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. But Brian Harman here, guys. So Brian Harman has been playing some quality golf recently. 43rd, 39th, 36th, 8th, and 56th place finish. And all that being said, he only ranks out 57th best stat fit in the field. So, typically speaking, Brian Harman this year has been top 50% in the field for stat rank play. I'd probably say top 60% in the field in each event. And that's kind of what we get this week. Overly decent recent form and, quality tournament history. 8th, miscut, 53rd, and 54th place finish. There's no real reason to play him, but if you're down there at a value price point range, he's a great quality lineup filler. If your guys are trying to make a lineup work that you guys feel really good about closing it out, 5 of the 6 players that you have going, and you end up in his price point range, it's going to be tough to find a better play that gives you that much confidence. So Brian Harman at that range, I don't mind. Then Emiliano Grillo. So he is getting a little bit skewed recent form-wise because, one, he played well at the API, which we don't have up there just yet. And then he also played well at the Puerto Rico Open, where he had a top 10 finish. So, we could factor that in there, and then he'd be decent. But before those 2 events, he had a miscut, and then a 22nd, and then a miscut, and then 37th, and a 47th place finish. So he's kind of been hit or miss, if you will. But for a value price point play, you just want them to make the cut. And Emiliano Grillo is going to be a top 10 stat rank play this week. Once again, he's one of those players where he just sucks at putting. 108th in that, and 83rd in par 5 scoring, but everything else is T24 or better. Strokes gained total 24th, effective drives gained 14th, effective greens gained 6th, ball striking 11th, and 7th in bogey avoidance. He's kind of almost checking all the boxes here. I actually don't mind Emiliano Grillo as a play, especially at this price point, 6.7. It's going to be highly appealing for me. You guys will have to check in possibly on the Wednesday live stream to see how much I'm still on him. Kind of the same thing for Brendan Steele here, who he also made the cut at the API and, quality recent form, 43rd, 34th, 30th, 21st, and 4th place finish. Course history-wise could be a little bit better, but 3 out of 4 made cuts. His most recent start here was a miscut, however. 51st stat fit, which once again, looking at a value play, it's just nice to see them be top 50% in the field as a stat rank play. We look at Charlie Hoffman. He's a guy I think is going to see a huge boost here come Monday. So right now he ranks out 51st in the model, which, that might not change all too much because he has bad course history, 3 miscuts, and a top 30 finish. So kind of been hit or miss there with Charlie Hoffman, but recent form wise, he's going to end up with like a top 10 or so, top 15 or so finish here, I think, at the API. And if you just look at when he's been healthy, now, he had 2 withdrawals in a row and then a miscut, but since then, a 7th, a 52nd, and probably a top 20 finish, we'll just say. When he's been healthy, Charlie Hoffman has been playing some great golf, and overall, top 26 stat rank play. So, if we get news that he might be a little bit banged up from the API, then, maybe we just fade him. But if we don't get any of that news, Charlie Hoffman at this price point range is going to be a quality play. But that is all I have for you guys for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. If you guys want to use the tools here at 9 to 5 Sports, it's $10 a month. It's the best value in PGA DFS. Really can't beat it. So I hope you guys join. If you don't, please give me a like and subscribe. Also, do have the Discord challenge here as well. All you have to do is leave a comment and like the video, and you are entered in the Discord challenge. We give out 1 invite to the 9 to 5 Discord chat there each and every week. So that could be you if you just, leave a like and a comment. All right. Thanks, guys. And as always, let's keep cashing.